Hello, this is Editing Fuller. I know it's rare to sight to see me editing for anything other than, adding some floor signs into the, what's that one game called? Something about cooking? I don't know. And so this is a Dragoon video, and the reason why it hasn't been out is because the audio of me speaking in this session has been magically disappeared. So there's my friend's audio that's been recorded, but not mine. So it kind of makes them crazy that they're laughing at things that, I've said that just ain't there. So I've made a recap of the session, and yeah, this is what's it going to be for this episode. So sit back and enjoy my recap on this episode of Dragoon. Here we start out at the save point of last session, and in the distance there's an unknown purple man. Now don't worry, it's not the purple man from Five Nights at Freddy's. I've checked the script and he does not exist in this universe. Heading to the left, there is a open area filled with lava and stuff and rocks protruding from the lava. And the only way for us to proceed is to jump across them, just like the river crossing from back then. But let's just hope that no one falls into lava like Lavitz did with the waterfall, because it's lava and lava hurts. Suddenly, Shauna can feel something in the distance. She doesn't know what it is, but it's calling to her for some reason. Kind of weird because there's no cell phones in this fantasy world. But she ends up running ahead, jumping across the lava without really any care. And that's really dangerous because Shauna has a bad track record of her legs failing. Yeah, you'll see more of that later in this episode. The gang runs after Shauna and sees what has been calling her all this time. It turns out to be an ancient super weapon during the Dragon War, or Dragon's War, Dragoon War. And Rose explains that was used against the dragons during the war, and it was like 60,000 years ago, whatever. And then it turns on unexpectedly, and then we are rushed into a battle. It has two arms to hit you with, and an anti-person beam that applies some sort of sass effects as well. Don't know how that works, guess it's just magic. After a fierce battle back and forth, Dart runs up to it, and Wombo comes off the side of the cliff edge into the lava/magma below, and it slowly sinks down like Terminator style with its arms, like, doing the thumbs up motion, except it really doesn't. It's just its arms sinking into the lava slowly and creepily. After the entire engagement, Rose walks up to the cliff edge and looks into the distance as it slowly sinks down into the lava, which is kind of strange how she's just looking at it and how she knew about it all this time. Maybe this is some type of foreshadowing in the future. After the fight, the team regroups to talk about what just happened, and they get interrupted by a cry of help from a man. As they go over there to help him up, it turns out to be a merchant that has some really out of place music, but hey, I can't complain since it's such a banger. He goes on to tell how he's so grateful for helping him and telling him where he's from and stuff. As after the whole engagement is done, he runs off into the distance. Once the engagement with the merchant is done, we walk through the rest of the volcano area, and we get stopped by the angry firebird when we entered the volcano first. Yeah, it's not looking very good. How do you even cut fire? I guess since this is a fantasy world, you can just cut fire now. But through the fight, I used a very secret weapon called the cash shop items and the one use spells. It deals heavy damage to it, and we are able to get through it. Sometime in the fight, it goes down to lava and brings up like sentient rocks, but I used rocks to hit the other rocks, and they all died. Once that's done, we continue on going through the volcano. We meet up with the merchant again. He explains some things to us about where he's from again, and some more plot points, and he offers us to buy some things from him. I think I we bought a couple items, healing items there, and maybe replenish on some of the one-use spells. But that's pretty much about it. And the next destination we're going to be heading to is the Dragon's Den or Nest. Remember the green dragon from like the very first episode where Dart ran away because it's a dragon and he's just a puny human. So yeah, we're gonna be fighting that now. The whole entire place is sickened by its poison. Thanks to the water supply, the poison kind of spreads through the entire forest, polluting its inhabitants and stuff like that. So it's not a very nice place to be there anymore. And here we witness the fabled plot point. This plant is blocking the path, and there's absolutely no way we can go around this plant. It is too dangerous. And, this might serve as a plot point in the future. We had to come back through here to get something. I don't know what, but it's blocking something very important. There may be a million stardust there, or maybe some gold. But you have my word for it. If it's hiding in gold and stardust, I will get behind this plant one day. Now, as we run up on the entrance to the nest, it is covered by, some sort of web sticky thing. I don't know why it's everywhere, but it's, I guess it's dragon's part spider. I don't know, dragon spider. A green dragon spider, a new species of dragon. Anyways, as we're not quite the smartest person. Kind of run in the middle of it, expecting it to hold the weight of the entire party, so we fall down a long ways. We wake up perfectly fine because we have plot armor and 1,000-foot drops don't apply, kind of like Undertale. But there, when we finally awake, we find the only pure water in the whole entire forest, and for some reason it has curing properties since it's magical water. This could be a plot point in the future. As we navigate through this maze-like obstacle course, we found it's kind of like a puzzle. Yeah, a puzzle maze. You'd go up something, you would activate some sort of weird plant, drop down the seaweed that's blocking it. Again, don't know why we just can't, cut through the seaweed and stuff, but that's more game plot that we just can't fathom to understand just going through it. But once we loot the place thoroughly and stuff like that, we end up at a save point at the very end, and through that door should be the main boss. Once we enter the boss room, we see that there's a knight there. We approach the knight, talk to him, and it turns out that knight worked for Lavitz's dad way back then. But he didn't feel very good, and he wanted more power and stuff. So he betrayed him and went to Emperor Null, one of those pronunciations, and in return for power, he had to basically betray Lav's dad. They talk back and forth. The knight pulls out a green marble, which is a Dragoon marble. And apparently Emperor Null likes fairy tales too, because he found a green marble and decided to use it for his nefarious deeds throughout the world. And once the whole entire engagement of him turning into a Dragoon is done, he telepathically calls for the green spy dragon, sorry. And the epic battle between Dragon and Dragoon versus our team begins. Throughout the fight, I prioritized the Green Dragoon wielder because I didn't want to deal with him using magic and stuff to deal damage to the entire party and stuff. And once I, got rid of the Dragoon, the dragon became enraged and buffed himself, but that did little because at the very end of the day, our team had 2 Dragoons, and that's clearly better than their 1 Dragoon. After the fight, we talked to Lavitz's dad's betrayer a little bit more. He explained a few more things, and then he dies sadly. And in that event, the green marble wants to choose its new master or owner, and it so happens to be Lavitz sitting right next to it. How convenient, right? Another thing that has been happening in the background all this time is the poison around the environment slowly affecting our party. Shauna has become too weak to stand and wants to sit down. And she so happily got poisoned by the dragon's poison and needs to see a doctor. We go back to save because I didn't want to do the boss fight again. And the next part is to climb up out of this nest, to be climbed as divine or whatever type of plant this is, to the next point of entrance, which is the town of Lohan. Lohan is a merchant city where you can buy items from shops and see the circus and meet our funny merchant man again. Oh yeah, and I suppose to find a doctor to treat Shauna's poison. Dart rushes into town trying to find the doctor to help save Shauna. Once he does, the doctor is in disbelief at the sight of seeing the dragon poison, because up until now he believed that dragons to be a total myth and legend. Once he sees the poison, he says that it's probably impossible to cure, but he tries to take a crack at it because he is the best doctor in town. He pulls out his secret family medical book to find out that he can indeed treat the dragon poison, but he needs a plant called the Dragoni plant, and like the dragon, it is said to be a myth and a legend. After leaving Shauna in the care of the doctor, we take a look around town, stealing any lost gold and stardust that may be just so happily placed in crates and stuff like that. We rest and save at the inn. I go around on the roofs to search for more gold and stuff, and I get yelled at to stop running on the roofs, so I did some civil disobedience and continued to run a lot more on the roofs. We buy and sell some old gear, and buying some spells that may prove useful to us in the future. At last, we stop by the eccentric merchant that we saved in the lava or volcano. Not in the lava. He'd be dead if he would be in the lava. Anyways, we tell him about her predicament of Shauna being poisoned by the, dragon, and we are trying to find this rare Dragoni plant. And through his impeccable knowledge, he says that he indeed knows where one could be, but it is north of the nest, and the only part going north in the nest is through that plant. So all that we need to do now is find a way to remove the plant that's blocking the way. Now, we remember the water that can purify things and has a curing ability. So next, we go through the merchant town trying to find a vessel so we can put the water in. We do indeed find a vessel seller, or a ceramic seller, and this average price of 100 million G or gold. And we're a bit too poor for that, so we try to talk down the price to a measly 100 gold or 1,000 gold. I know. If we weren't so poor, we would have been able to afford the million gold, or not the million, 100 million gold price tag. After that, we rush forward and to go back to the Cure-All water. We successfully obtained the vessel full of the Cure-All water, and I would have gone to the plant and progressed with the story, but I do not know how to get back up, considering the fact that there's no, fundamental stairs or something that could be used to go backwards. So until the next session, or I look up something to progress, we are stuck in the nest, and probably slowly being poisoned by the dragon's poison as well. And with that, this is the end of the review. I hope to see you in the next episode of the Dragoon, and hopefully fingers crossed, nothing gets corrupted or I forget to record a whole entire section of audio. Yeah. Bye.